former New York Times sports writer, has a podcast, In the Zone with Chris Broussard. Listen, I was saying this earlier. I got nothing against Carrot Top. Okay, he's a very, very profitable comic. He said, here's a ski mask, here's a toilet seat. Everybody laugh at my joke. But why Jon Stewart or Letterman are kind of legends is the layering. They can do politics. They can do stand-up. I think Stewart could do acting. They could host huge events. You're not going to put Carrot Top at the Oscars, okay? Golden State is so layered. Like Houston, I feel like, threes didn't drop. They get worked at home by Joe Ingles. Like, to me, they are so dependent on the math equation known as the three-point shot, Chris.
I totally agree with you. There's no question about it. I like Houston. I've liked them all year. But it's three or bust, period. I mean, it's ridiculous. And here's the thing that people do not understand. Even smart, intelligent NBA people do not understand or highlight about the Golden State Warriors. They're not all about the three.
They're not.
We know their defense gets overlooked, but everybody acknowledges it's great defense.
We know their coach is outstanding.
Coach is outstanding. But look at their offense. It's player movement. They get a ton of backdoor layups. They get guys cutting to the basket all the time. Do you know that they are 17th in the NBA in three-pointers attempted?
Timeout. Can we have breaking news for that?
Really?
That
right?
is, I did not know that.
I thought it was about fifth, but I went to research. So if it's wrong, I'm blaming research. They said 17th in the NBA in three-pointers per game this season. Now, they're first in percentage.
Breaking news.
They're first in percentage, but that should be news to Daryl Morey and Cleveland. Cleveland just said, we're going to be like Golden State. Let's just shoot threes.
That's all they do.
It's either LeBron or a three. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. So people need to learn it's not just the three with Golden State. And they are the best three-point shooting team ever. They got the best backcourt ever, particularly best backcourt shooting the ball. Yeah. And they don't just live and die by the three.
Yeah, listen, it's like Matt Damon. I said this earlier. If you take the action out of most action stars, Vin Diesel, pretty marginal actor. Matt Damon's done action, Jason Bourne. He's done Good Will Hunting. You put him on Mars, he can make that movie too. Matt Damon's a real actor. He can do a variety of things, and that's the difference between a Matt Damon. By the way, Vin Diesel's a star too. You take out the action of Vin Diesel, I don't get Shakespeare. All right, I'm going to make a prediction. I don't bet the NBA. I even almost made a huge bet in our morning meeting this morning. But let's not get into it.
Huh? We'll get into that
later.
Let's
not get into it.
That's happening.
Coach you into things like that.
That's happening.
Okay. Toronto is my NBA playoff lock of the year tonight. First of all, I always look at Vegas. Vegas made the line like 7.5. LeBron's not a 7.5-point dog to Toronto much. We also know with Cleveland, they have been very good, Chris, in the games they have to win. They've laid some eggs this year. Indiana, they laid a couple of eggs. I think Toronto walks tonight.
Yeah, I'm not as confident as you are in the Raptors winning this, but Cleveland gets complacent. In the midst of series, heck, in the midst of games. When they get up big, they tend to relax. They
do.
Take their foot off the gas. And they just coast, and then next thing you know, it's a 2-point game, and they got to play hard again. So, yeah, I could see them going out there. We did what we need to do. We got our one. And LeBron, I don't know that he'll allow them to cut his minutes. But if I were Ty Lue, I would think seriously, like, let me keep LeBron around 35 to 38.
See, I agree with you.
He was gassed in game one.
Listen, do you know, again, this may be crazy. They told me this morning, the Cavs, LeBron's won 28 of 29 at home against Toronto. Okay. It's official. They're in Toronto's head in Cleveland. I think the agenda was set. You know, it's just like one of those things. That game one, Toronto literally went to bed and they're like, has real self-doubt. Now, I think Toronto's going to play tonight like it's the last game in the history of the franchise. I think you're going to get one of their great games of the year. I don't think it'll translate to a series win. It's probably the only reason I watch Barkley. I don't watch because of his prep. I don't watch because he's slick. I don't watch because, You know, I mean,
half the time you wonder if he's
watching the games,
watching Law and Order, or something instead of the game. I mean.
But why I watch him is he's the only guy on TV that is not edited. And last night he had to be edited, which I don't like. What did you make of it?
Well, first of all, I'm praying for him that he has Jason Whitlock as a mentor. No, Whitlock's our man. But why did he even apologize? Or whatever that was. Because I'm with you. I don't know that it's an apology if I say I meant what I said.
It's not an apology.
Right?
Well, that's what I said to the team this morning. We were doing this, and I said, if I say something really awful, and then I come out and I say, I meant what I said, but I apologize. What you're saying is you're not apologizing.
Yeah.
What he's saying is, it offended many of you, so I'm going to offer this. But in the end, I think nobody watched that and was outraged, except maybe Draymond's mother, which I understand.
Look, like you, when I saw it, I thought it was funny. I was actually waiting for him to. I wanted him to explain why he felt that way. Right. Why do you want to hit Draymond? You know, but I just felt he went too far. I mean, I wasn't totally offended or you just
wouldn't have said it.
I just felt like, whenever you talk about violence.
Yeah.
But again, you come on there and you say I meant what. So you really do want to hit Draymond. That's still what he's saying. By the way,
that's what 90% of the guys in the bars are saying. That's what half the guys in the leagues are saying. Steven Adams, by the way, wants to punch Draymond in the face. Anybody that has Draymond guarding him feels the same way, and I love Draymond Green. So, okay, I got to throw this out. Now, listen, will you at least acknowledge, Chris Broussard, that some of my criticisms of Westbrook appear to be
not one.
Not one is accurate.
No, look. Okay, the Paul George, you're saying he's leaving $46 million on the table to get away from Westbrook.
Well, why would
he was going to leave that much on the table in Indiana? He would leave that much on the table wherever he was. He just wants to be in L.A. or Philly, or I think you should look at Philly, but he wants to be in L.A. So it has nothing to do with Westbrook. Now, I'll grant you, Westbrook can be difficult to play with.
Well, really? When did you come to that? That's a stretch.
He can be difficult to play with, but give him his props. He's a superstar. He's an icon.
Let me throw this at
He's
you.
He's going to be
a ball hog.
A legend.
Let me throw this at you. Okay. Oklahoma City, led by Westbrook. I want everybody to digest this slowly. Has lost 8 of 11 playoff games in the Westbrook first era. Now, this is not Kevin Durant here. Last year, it was all Westbrook. This year, it was mostly Westbrook. They have lost 8 of 11 playoff games, not in the finals. This ain't LeBron.
Why is Westbrook getting all the blame?
Well, because the last 2 years.
Paul George, who's about to get a max deal, scoring 5 points. 5, Colin.
He was great in Game 5.
5 in Game 7. Not 12, not 15, 5.
By the way.
When's the last time a superstar scored 5 points?
In the last 2 years, this is a team that has lost 8 of 11, 3 by blowouts to first-round teams. This isn't Boston losing in the conference finals or LeBron. They're getting rolled by Utah and the Houston team without Chris Paul.
Well, this series, they were outcoached.
Yeah, well,
Quinn Snyder outcoached Billy Donovan. Whenever I have less talent and you have more talent, and I beat you
soundly,
I outcoached you. And that's speaking to the Rockets. Mike D'Antoni, who I like as a coach, he's outcoached in the playoffs because he doesn't adjust. Like you said, they do what they do.
You know what he is? I've compared him to Chip Kelly. Chip has a system. He ain't moving off the system. No. Okay, where Brad Stevens doesn't necessarily have a system. Belichick doesn't have a... Belichick coaches week to week.
And Popovich the same way. He'll adjust to his talent.
Where D'Antoni and Chip Kelly have a great system. They ain't moving off it.
No.
And I think that you can do... Systems are great in the regular season in college football. They're great. But when you get to the playoffs where you're facing great coaches and great players... Systems have to be adjusted. Yeah. And I don't think D'Antoni and Chip Kelly, for bowl games or the playoffs, they're not adjusters.
You're absolutely
right. But they do deserve credit for having a great system.
No, you're absolutely right. In the playoffs, it's all about adjustments. It's about matchups and adjustments. That's what, and obviously talent. But in this case, Houston has superior talent. So what's the problem? Quinn Snyder will adjust and adapt and make changes and throw tweaks here and there. D'Antoni won't. And that's why this could really end up being a really good series.
Chris Broussard, good seeing you, bud. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.